Call to order the regular council meeting of Monday, May the 26th. There is an agenda there in front of you. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda? Councilors Randawa and 80. Any additions, deletions? All in favor? Any opposed? It is carried. We have now an opportunity for public comment, opportunity for members of the public if they would like to come and speak to council on any item that is on this evening's agenda. You can do so at this time. Nobody's coming forward, so I'm going to move on. We have a presentation, a video presentation that's coming up. You can play it now.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay.
It was an extremely refreshing change of pace to do work in Prince Rupert. You know, the added advantage is you get to go to Prince Rupert, which is one of the most beautiful places in Canada, hands down. My name is Jeff Brown. I work for North Star Development. We are a mixed-use residential and commercial developer specializing in urban markets and infill projects.
We recognize that Prince Rupert had a housing need that was unmet, but also some real challenges getting housing built there.
They're the third busiest port in Canada by container volume. That is something that's remarkable for a municipality of the size of Prince Rupert.
I think it's refreshing to come to a community that is embracing growth and change while understanding their community needs and being able to facilitate the approval process in a way that is both respectful of their community objectives, but also of the time and interests of the developer.
So the city of Prince Rupert is excellent. The team over in City Hall is extremely well versed in their craft. They know what they're doing. The whole team from top to bottom is one cohesive team. They do a really good job. In Vancouver, you're talking years to do a development permit or rezoning, like 4 or 5 years. In the city of Prince Rupert, we're talking 2 months.
Our project had a 4-week rezoning approval, an 8-week development permit approval. Contrast that with multi-year approvals in other jurisdictions. That's why we're there.
Excellent. That video, along with other things, it just speaks to some of the great work that's being done by the staff here at City Hall. I hear from, when developers come from away, they're blown away by the turnaround time in terms of development permits, in terms of rezoning, so it's always nice when a proponent takes the time to put together a little video that speaks to that. Couple of other things along the same line before we move into the full agenda here, and that is a couple of awards that the organization won in the last week, or were presented actually the last couple of weeks. One is for the Northern BC Hydrogen Hub Award, and that comes to us from NCLGA. And I'll just read the little blurb here that for over 2 years, the Northern BC Hydrogen Hub Initiative, which was started by the City of Prince Rupert and the City of Prince George, has been focused on supporting the emergence of a new hydrogen industry in Northern BC by creating a regional hub that supports the co-location of hydrogen production, technology solutions, and various users of hydrogen. The economic development goal of the initiative is to support the diversification of regional and local economies in Northern BC and create sustainable jobs while supporting an industry that can have a positive impact on the environment by decarbonizing hard to decarbonizing industrial sectors in the region. The project has become a collaborative cross-regional initiative that now has partnerships across Northern BC, across the province, and into Alberta. It continues to grow as more communities engage. This initiative, in collaboration by the City of Prince Rupert and the City of Prince George, was recognized by the NCLGA Awards Committee, and I was pleased to receive that award on behalf of the city. And I also want to speak to the other award, which is the Most Improved Landfill. And I'm just going to take a second here to pull this up. It's a mute, it'd be very hard to see on television, I'm sure, but it is a moose that's standing there, and okay, and I am here. We go. Okay, the SWANA Most Improved BC Landfill Award recognizes the major transformation of our landfill, one of the most environmentally complex sites. Over the last several years, the city has invested heavily in modernizing the facility with over $21 million in capital work completed to date, including, and I'm not going to get it all, but $4.3 million for the East Berm expansion, $2.1 million for the cell development and landfill design, $3.9 million for new engineered cell construction and equipment upgrades, $4.6 million for West Berm expansion, $4.2 million for the leachate system improvements, $2.3 million for the lagoon treatment upgrades, rock wall, all of this. Okay, the work has been driven by a small but committed team working under difficult conditions. The site is surrounded by ocean, fish-bearing creeks, making environmental performance critical. While the award celebrates progress, there is still significant work ahead, particularly around long-term leachate treatment and extending landfill lifespan under tighter regulatory requirements. The recognition is a milestone, not a finish line, and highlights what can be achieved through focused investment and leadership. And Director Jordan Schmidt here tonight received that award on behalf of the city of Prince Rupert. Thankful for the work that you do. Thankful for the work your team is doing. Nice to have it recognized. I'm soon going to disappear under all the awards that are beginning to surround the desk here at the front. All right, there is a consent agenda in front of you. It has the following items. It has the minutes of the regular meeting of May 5th, the minutes of the special meeting to close of May the 5th, the minutes of the special regular meeting of May the 8th, report from planning with regards to the development activity report for April. There's the report from the manager of communications with regards to engagement, social development, regards to big project. Report from planning, community planning activity report for May. Report from the fire chief with regards to monthly fire rescue report, April. There is correspondence for approval. It's the request for the proclamation of Indigenous Survivors Day, National Blanket Ceremony Day, June the 30th. There's correspondence for receipt, which is a letter from NCRD to the BC Utilities Commission, Pacific Northern Gas, with regards to the proposed increase of natural gas delivery rates. There's BC Hydro electric vehicle site host update. Letter to the city of Enderby to letter from the city of Enderby to MLA David Williams with regards to Bill 7, economic stabilization, the Tariff Response Act. And there's minutes from the Indigenous Relations Committee meeting of April the 11th, and there's from Westac key messages for letters to Prime Minister Mark Carney. Recommendation is that all the consent agenda items be approved or received as requested. Can I have a motion to that effect? Councillor Adey, Councillor Randhawa. Anything you want to highlight or talk about there? Councillor Adey.
Thank you. I think I was one of the voices looking for more public-facing information around the big project, and so I'm happy to say that there's clearly a resource available on the city website that helps to do a lot of what I was hoping it would do. I do have a couple of questions about it, but as a general statement, I'll say it's generally really good, and I'm definitely looking forward to green lines taking the place of red lines on that map. I found them. I looked at and I found 2 or 3 there. I'd love to see those expand as the project goes on. A couple of questions. I think mostly pretty straightforward questions. It did take me a few minutes to find it, and I'm not a real techno guy, but I'm not computer illiterate either. So I guess I'm wondering whether, given the scale and scope of this project, whether there couldn't be a direct link on the homepage for the city just straight to the big project, because I'm sure that there is a public interest in finding it and having a look at what's there. Second question, there's a section there with questions and answers. So a question gets posed and then staff responds to that question and the public can have a look at the answers. I'm assuming that is also paired with a direct response to the whoever asked the question in the first place. There is a statement there about monthly reports, and I just wanted to clarify what was intended there. It said that if desired, we can include monthly council updates, and I'm not sure whether that means that the monthly council updates will get put onto the website, or whether we shall receive council updates on a monthly basis. But it does say, it does seem to be asking us what we would like there. So that is a question, what was intended by that statement.
All right, so there's several questions there. DCM Pucci, do you want me to go to Manager Stewart, or how do you want to handle it?
Yes, please. I'll defer to Manager Stewart.
Manager Stewart.
Hi there. So I'm just going to make sure that I remember all of the questions. The first one was just about whether or not we can put a more clear link on the homepage. And I think there is something, but it might be a little buried. So I'm going to see what I can do about having something be a little bit more at the forefront of our main website, because I can appreciate why that would be helpful.
Yep.
So that's no problem. In terms of the FAQ section, so when someone submits a question, my understanding is they have to put in an email, and so they should get a notification when we respond automatically. So the reason that we post it publicly is so that we have everybody getting the benefit of the answers to those questions, but also the person should receive a notification that we responded to their question as well.
And then the monthly updates.
Monthly updates, that was just included in case council was looking to have something put as part of the kind of consent agenda. Was the thought behind that, was that we could have reporting included in the consent agenda if administratively that's something that communications can provide support to the project on.
Councillor Adey.
So just my opinion then on that is I do think that a project of this scale and scope warrants monthly reporting, although I can appreciate that some months it would not necessarily show much in the way of change. So I guess I would hope that the things that are new would be what a monthly report would emphasize. But I do think there's a place for monthly reporting there. And I did have one more question. That's with regard to Crestview.
Yep.
They are mercifully near the end, I hear. It does a statement about the paving, that it would be later this summer, subject to contractor availability. I gather that we're not quite at the point of having identified the contractor yet, although I think that'll be soon. I'm just hoping that, given the extraordinary disruption that those folks have experienced, that we might find a way to make sure that when we do arrive at a contractor, that there is a sense of priority for getting that street done.
DCM Pucci, who can speak to the paving plan?
I can, Your Worship. Thank you very much. So we are going out. The paving RFP is ready to go out. We've reviewed it late last week, and final touches were actually done today. So it will be going out within days. And we know that Crestview is on that. We'll take council's note and see if we can prioritize the sequencing to have Crestview as one of the priority ones to get done first.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Just my personal 2 cents worth. I think a monthly update to council, I like that idea. I also think it wouldn't hurt to flip it over to the website, as for the record. But some sort of measure or measures of how much money's been spent to date, how much progress is made, some milestones, if you will, that measure how we're doing, and maybe forewarn us if I mean, it's a massive project, and I'm concerned about the impact of tariffs on pipe price. I don't know if I should be, uh, but you know, those kinds of updates I think on a monthly basis would be useful. The community is making big sacrifice to make it happen, and I think the more information is the better. But Councillor Cunningham.
So it's my understanding from that conversation that the paving contract hasn't been let yet, and it's almost the end of May. And you know, I know Terrace or Adventure Paving is already over in Haida Gwaii and committed to being over there quite a bit because they've got a lot of paving contracts that have already let over there. Is that true that we haven't even let our contract yet?
DCM Pucci.
Thank you, Your Worship. That is correct. It is going out within days. It is finalized. Final touches were put on it, and it is going out.
Is that a new hand, Councillor? Councillor Cunningham?
No.
Thank you. Okay.
Didn't take it down.
I should have started with that just for the information of people watching. We have a fair number of people on screen today. DCM Pucci and Director Miller are both joining us remotely as they participate in the CAMA conference. Councillors Forrester, Cunningham, and I don't know if Skelton Morven has joined us yet. Is Councillor Skelton Morven?
Yes, he is, Mr. Mayor. He just is having some connectivity issues, so he has his monitor on.
All right. Okay. Super. Thank you. And then of course Manager Stewart, who we've heard from already. All right. Anything else rising from the consent agenda? If there's nothing else, all in favor? Any opposed? It is carried. The next item on the agenda is a report from the Chief Financial Officer with regards to the security issuing resolution for the police detachment. The recommendation is this, that the Council approve the borrowing from the Municipal Finance Authority of British Columbia as part of the 2025 fall issue of $17 million as authorized through Loan Authorization Bylaw number 34842022, authorizing borrowing of funds for the purpose of funding the police detachment project, and that the North Coast Regional District be requested to consent to this borrowing over a 30-year term, including the borrowing in their security issue bylaw. Can I have a motion to that effect? Councillors Adey, Councillor Niche. I'll note just it's worth highlighting in the report that sorry, I'm just gonna flip through to it here. Here we go. That I mean, I don't know if it's ever good news when you borrow $17 million. I mean, you would rather not borrow $17 million if you don't have to. But the original authorizing bylaw was for $25 million. And so we're borrowing a much lower amount. And it comes as a result of a number of things. So the loan authorization bylaw under which the debt is approved had a maximum limit of $25 million. Council will note that the security issuing resolution thought is for only $17 million. The reason for the lower debt financing is twofold. First, the construction project was completed under that budgeted by the city. I want to say that again. The construction project was completed under that budgeted by the city. Second, given the city had reserve funding starting in 2019 from new industrial taxes and placing those amounts into reserve for the purpose of repaying the anticipated debt, the accumulation of funding has been used to partially pay for the project, thereby reducing the debt needed. So it's anticipated, provided the interest rates don't escalate, that by the time the debenture is taken, that there will be no tax increase proposed in the 2026 budget to fund the debt repayments that will begin in that fiscal year. Basically good news. Councillor Adey.
I'd like to build on that just a little bit. If we go back a little further in time, a decision was taken that we would endeavor to run the project and deal with the money side of the project. Even though the RCMP construction was mandated, we had to do this. If we had not chosen to do that, the federal government would have overseen that project and we would have lost any control over where that budget ended up. So I think it speaks to the person on staff that was central to all of this and probably needs should have a shout out. CFO Corinne Bauman is commendable.
Yep, absolutely. Councillor Cunningham.
I was just going to echo the same sentiment. I think we have to take our hats off to CFO Corinne Bauman for what she's done over the years, not only on this project, but other projects, and her leadership in this particular aspect of our financial well-being.
Agreed. Councillor Nish.
I'm going to go back to 2014, the year of election, and my thoughts coming in. Excuse me, my thoughts coming in were we can't need a new police station, and it was very shortly after being elected that I was given a tour along with a few of us and shown the big deficiencies in the police station. And I build stuff every day, and when I walked out of there, I thought we need a new police station. There was no doubt in my mind that this was that this was something that was needed. As much as everyone will say, well, we didn't need it. Unfortunately, even it was probably 7 years before my time. That's when we were actually told final notice that we actually had to build this. So we're going on almost 20 years since this has started, and it's been part of my time on this council of almost 11 years now, where this has been part of one of the pieces that we've worked on. So it's been a long journey for the city and for myself, and I'm glad to see that it's finally done and it looks great. And it was the fact that it was brought in under budget it's almost unheard of these days when something comes in under budget. And once again, our CFO did a wonderful job of planning ahead by putting that money away in reserves to get us to a point where now here we are only having to borrow $17 million, and she really does deserve a big round of appreciation for this from and I heard it from people in the RCMP as well, not just from our own staff or our own people. She did a great job on this, and this was I'm sure a big corner of her desk for many years as well. And I'm sure she's glad to see that corner of that desk now or soon.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, if there are no other comments or questions, all in favor? Any opposed? It is carried. The next item is a recommendation. It's with regards to an RFQ 250005, outfall J to I relocation. Recommendation is that council award the RFQ 250005, outfall J to I relocation to Progressive Ventures. There is a report here that shows that Progressive Ventures, there were two bidders, and Progressive Ventures was the lower of the two bids by almost $1 million. So I'd entertain a motion to that effect. Councillors Nish, Councillors Randawa, any discussion, comments, or questions? All in favor? Any opposed? It is carried. Council, it's your turn. Round table. Councillor Randawa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, so our roundabout is about to start now.
Yeah.
So lots of people have questions, right? So also like on 2nd Avenue, many our signs are like wrapped. So people are asking like why they wrapped. And so if we have any update on roundabout on those signs, if we can share with people, please.
Sure. So I don't have specific information. I don't know if staff does, if they've been working with highways. I remind everybody, this is Department of Highways project, not a City of Prince Rupert project. And you're absolutely right. You can see that the signs have been erected and now covered with garbage bags or whatever. I do not know what the plans are for the rerouting of traffic. DCM Pucci, is there anybody on our staff that would have some awareness of that?
Thank you, Your Worship. So the plastic bags are for removing traffic control devices that are in place because they're prepping for the rerouting. So, but again, you are correct that this is an MOTI project, and what we could do is take away questions from council and get MOTI to answer them for us. As staff, we'd hate to give out information on other projects, especially if we are not 100% confident on it. So we can take that away and issue something.
Yeah, but I think it's clear just watching the progress there as they remove the old Parker Ford premise there that they're going to be getting close, I think, to rerouting traffic. We can expect to be rerouted, and we can expect to be rerouted for quite a period of time. Yeah. And I know there's a ton of opinions out there about the roundabout, and there's misinformation about the roundabout. Why on earth would the city spend that money on this when we've got so many other priorities? And the city is not spending that money on the roundabout. It is the provincial government that is spending that money. And why on earth wouldn't you get them to spend it on something else? Well, Department of, large governments, provincial government, the money gets allocated to different ministries. This money is in the Ministry of Highways, Ministry of Transportation. If we were to turn it down, it will get spent somewhere else in some other community on a Ministry of Transportation project, not on a City of Prince Rupert project. And as I tell people all the time, there are millions and millions of dollars worth, I think it's in the $8 million worth of pipe work to be done under the roundabout. That's $8 million that the 5,000 households in Prince Rupert don't have to raise, but rather the 5 million people in the province of British Columbia will share the cost of that. And so, and then I'll just tell you on a purely personal level, and I accept that people can have different opinions on it. My own belief is that when it's all said and done, you're going to find that actually beautifies that corner and makes the center of our community a wonderful gateway. It'll display the courthouse more clearly. It will, but that's a personal opinion. Some people like cedar shakes and some people like metal roofs, and that's my opinion. Councillor Cunningham.
I'd just like to point out that this weekend we had 2 festivals in town, Rockstock, which, for the people that attended, it was just amazing. The young talent in this town, the show they put on. Salmon Fest was also put on. So, a handout to all the volunteers that work in both of them. Seafest is looking for volunteers. They're a little short right now. So if anyone is interested, there's numbers in both the paper and online for that. And also a reminder that I believe it's this Saturday is the last Saturday. You can go to the dump and dump free, clean up your yard, your house, even your neighbor's yard if you want to. Just thought I'd throw those out to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Council? Councillor Eadie.
A couple of other things. A couple of events in the last couple of days. Well, actually, all last week, and then a couple of smaller events. We had the groundbreaking for the Aboriginal Head Start daycare center. I think the number I heard there was 35 places for kids in all-day daycare, which will certainly help ease some of the pressure. And it has been one of the pressure points in terms of helping people settle in the community, helping people come to the community. The Museum of Northern BC put on an appreciation for donors event that was well attended, acknowledging that it is now 101 years old. So the direction is looking forward. Rather than commemorating the first 100 years, it's to look forward to what's coming next. And I think that's clearly an important institution in terms of cultural history and preserving what it is to be Prince Rupert. And the larger event, of course, is the NCLGA. I won't go through the list of different workshops and so on. I know that I was involved in a session on recruitment and retention of physicians that talked about different ways in which different communities are managing that, including our own. But there were a number of other sessions and, of course, resolutions passed. Well attended, some 250 delegates from across northern BC, and an annual chance to get together and share the challenges as well as the achievements. And from my perspective anyway, it was a very successful week.
I agree, and part of why it was successful was because of our own Director Miller, who kept a watchful eye on it over the course of really the last year since we announced that we would be the host community, and you know, the organizers will take their credit for what they did, and that's all fair. But I can tell you that Director Miller caught many balls that were being dropped, and made sure they didn't hit the ground. So it was a great event, and I think perhaps for me, in having all those elected leaders from, now this is NCLGA covers from basically 100 Mile House north, so big chunk of the province, was having people's chin drop at the amount of build out that's happening in the Port of Prince Rupert, the terminals, the all that's going on out there. I think it helped them to understand, because I think there was great mystery when we were able to be as successful as we were in getting water pipe money, as you know, $65 million and $77 million. I mean, there's unheard of numbers for communities our size. But when they started to see what's going on out here, and how it's not just about Prince Rupert, but it's about northern British Columbia, Alberta, and Canada, I think it put it into context for them. The Port of Prince Rupert was extremely generous in taking, I think, 70 some odd of them out on the whale watching boat, but not whale watching, going around touring the various facilities and helping them to see. And I talked to industry people who were on that tour who were gobsmacked. People whose job it is to know about what's happening, but when they saw the size and scale of it, they were blown away. So I also wanted to say that I had the honor of representing you at Salmon Fest and representing the community, so that was wonderful to be there for that. At the museum, I encourage people to go to the museum and look at the exhibit that's now in the art gallery area. It is a wall by wall by wall by wall timeline of the city of Prince Rupert, different events and how they happen, and when, like, you just walk down. The only thing I was disappointed in, they didn't have when I came to town, but beyond that, it, you know, pretty much every major event in the city's history has been fully covered there. And then I want to say now, congratulations to ILWU for the soon to be opening of their hall. I will be off to FCM, so I won't be there tomorrow for that. But Councillor Randhawa is the acting mayor and will be bringing some words of congratulation on our behalf. I you know, having been in this chair in the two eras that I was, when we were trying to get a container terminal built, and everybody in the industry was saying it can't be done, it won't be done, it won't work, and then to be here reaping some of the rewards of that success and doing things like being able to build a new police station finally, right? And replace water pipes and some of those things. People forget in that era. It's easy to forget, and for many people, they weren't even here or they were too young to understand it. It was the men and women of ILWU 505 that went to work every day and made that place a success. I will be forever indebted to them. They were instrumental in attracting the investment. They worked side by side with us and the port and others to get the government money. It took provincial, federal, CN, and the proponent. They were there every step of the way in those processes. And when the terminal opened, they set the world on fire and saved the town. It's not an exaggeration to say that they saved Prince Rupert. They took great pride in outperforming their brothers and sisters on the longshoring down in other terminals, and they made us look really, really good. So I deeply regret that I can't be there with them to celebrate because it's so personal for me. But I know Councillor Randawa will do a great job, and they deserve to be celebrated, as well as the partners that are also contributing to that organization. All right, if there's nothing else, Council, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Councillor Adey, Councillor Randawa, all in favor? Any opposed? It is carried.